How is that something that I'm going to do for my spouse or they're going to do for me without fail for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years?
Don't you want somebody to love when you're lonely? Don't you want somebody to lighten your load?
Let me ask you a question. Why do you think modern marriages fail? First marriages fail at about a rate of 40 to 50%. Second marriages at about 67%. And third marriages at about 75%. Well, let me ask you, what do you think is the reason why people used to stay together? I got 4 suggestions for you. Let's start with romance. Maybe it's romance. Maybe romance is what kept marriages alive. Well, what are we looking at in the year 2022? We're looking at a healthy degree of disconnection. We're looking at a people group that are glued to screens, have a lot to do, have children, have so many things that compete for their attention that it's very difficult to pay attention to a spouse. What else? We have porn and social media that contributes to that problem. We have guys who can check out and watch some porn. We have ladies who can check out and watch some social media. And there's some overlap, but that's mostly how it is. What else do we have? We have people who are engaged in fantasy relationships, in Disney tale relationships. They have a concept that, oh, I'm just going to find this person and I'll be happy forever. Where's that? Where is that actually happening? And finally, there's a sense of pessimism that romance is temporary, that romance is something that comes and goes and fades, and you're not going to have this person, it's just going to be your turn, and then you're going to move on to somebody else. Second reason, survival. People used to stay together for survival reasons. Life was hard and we stuck together to survive, to create a family. We didn't rely on the government, we didn't rely on our wealth, we relied on family structures, we relied on extended family structures. And what do we have today? We have work. The consistent message is survival comes from your work, it comes from your hands, it comes from your money. What else? We have this degree of security. People don't want to place their security in another person's hands. That does not feel safe. Why should I go find a man who has a job but could lose it, who has a job but could under-earn or perhaps limit my decision-making capabilities? And the third one, we have the government. We have a wonderful social safety net that works, it functions. But what does that mean for something like marriage? It means, hey, if this marriage doesn't work out, I have a fallback system. I have disability, I have food stamps, I have Medicaid and Medicare. I have Section 8 housing, I have Title 20 child care. I have all of those things. So I'm not convinced that security is a reason why people would stay together so much as it used to be. Third reason, purpose. I think people have lost their purpose as far as relationships, long-term relationship, marriage go. It used to be that most people at least had the veneer of being a religious person, a Christian, perhaps. You know, you may not like the way the Catholics do marriage, but boy, they know how to do marriage. They have a step-by-step process of everything from when you meet to when you die to what happens if the thing fails. You may not like it, but they at least have a path. They have a purpose. They have a drive. So many people I meet lately, these days, they just get to know somebody and they like them and then let's go from here. That's it. That's it. That's all it is. It's just let's just be happy ever. Let's go off into the happy ever after. What about this? They're not building a family anymore. That's not the goal like it used to be. You know, we're going to get together, we're going to have kids, we're going to have grandkids, we're going to build a family. Now it's, well, I'm going to do my career and you're going to do your career and we're going to take care of each other, we're going to love each other. And, you know, family's not something that we're really interested in doing. It's not in the forefront of our minds. What we're mostly interested in is kind of like a joint roommate, sexual, romantic situation, right? And then there's just not that much purpose behind that. How is that something that's going to last 60 years, even 40, even 20 years? I think there's the decline of the male provider. You know, as ladies have entered the workforce, the males also have decreased their finances to the point where it is more difficult to support a family just on the male's salary alone. And statistics show that ladies tend to marry up they tend to look for guys with a higher earning potential than they have, even if they're in the six-figure range. And so there's fewer males to marry. So obviously that presents a problem to marriage. And finally, we have video games. Well, video games and other things. Video games provide a sense of purpose to a lot of men. They can go out and they can fight fake battles and win fake wars and build fake kingdoms and fake civilizations at the expense of building something here, right now, with somebody. And there's many other examples: careers, social media presences, getting into politics. All kinds of things drive the attention as far as purpose goes, and it sometimes is at the expense of, can we create a family? Can we create a long-lasting legacy, an intergenerational continuity that connects our ancestors with our future? So no, I don't know that we have necessarily the sense of purpose behind long-term relationships and marriage like we used to. Well, finally, what do we have here? We have sex and we have children. And it certainly seems like nowadays having children is almost an unethical or unwise choice. How many times have you heard, it's not a good idea to bring children into this world? This world is too evil. This world is too dangerous. They take up too many resources. How many times have you seen people get caught up with porn and sexual freedom? Sex in itself is not contained to marriage anymore. Sex is something you can get on the internet, on my phone, within 5 seconds, costing zero, with a woman that's more beautiful than I can get. How can I resist that temptation? And the ladies these days, that they're not exactly the most chaste because of sexual freedom. But it's a common complaint among men that it's easier to have a sexual relationship with a woman that you're dating with or that you're casual with than when you're married to a wife. It's at least the common idea is that you're going to get married and then she's going to stop being interested in you. The sexual relationship's going to go real cold real soon, especially after the kids. And they're not always wrong. They're not always wrong. And lastly, there's the shaming of sexuality, both male and female. Male sexuality is seen as a dangerous, oppressive force. And female sexuality is often just coupled with shame and expectation and pressure. And so do people stay together for sex and for children anymore? Oftentimes not. That's not a driving factor. Well, what do we have then? What do we have? What are the most two common reasons that people stay together? Happiness? Love? You don't make me happy, I'm not in love with you? How is that something that I'm going to do for my spouse or they're going to do for me without fail for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years? Without children, without purpose, without romance, without survival needs being a factor. How is that going to happen? And I'll ask you, and frankly, I don't know that I know all of the answers to these questions, but I'm hoping that we can discover them together. And I'm hoping that we can gain some ground on this issue. So, I'm the Thoughtful Husband. Welcome to the journey. Take care, and I'll see you later.
Don't you want somebody to figure you out? Finishing your words before they leave your mouth. Somebody to hold you tight at the end of the day. Oh, don't you want somebody like me?